Do you remember when you were like 14, 15 years old, and maybe you were a little bit chubby, and you first start noticing that your nipples are poking through your t-shirts? OMG, I have man boobs. You might have been a little chubby, so you decide, okay, I'm just gonna lose fat, I'm gonna try and lose weight. And it's a struggle. You don't have much discipline in your life. You look up on the internet, how to get rid of man boobs. You get so many of these fads and tricks on like how to reduce fat, and like you try them, you note them down. Then as you're scrolling through page 1, page 2, if you go past page 2, you're a degenerate. Through your search, you come across this word, it's called Gynecomastia. And you're like, okay. Breast tissue. Oh God, that can't be me, can it? There's no way of getting rid of it without surgery. Oh God, no, that definitely can't be me. That can't be me. You go on to Google Images and it's like pictures of guys with full-on double B, double C titties, and you're like, okay, that doesn't look like me. Phew. Close call. You might be skinny fat or just really skinny, like you might even have some abs, but you're nowhere near like fat. You're not even chubby, and yet your nipples are still poking through your shirt. It's really, really bothering you, and maybe some other people have started commenting on it. Then you remember that thing that you looked up a couple of years back, gynecomastia. This time you spent some more time reading about it. It can come in varying degrees, from just puffy nipples to full-on bazookas. You see in some forums that the puffiness of the nipples can actually be reduced sometimes when you're cold, or when you give a little flick or rub it a little bit and it hardens. And that's, funny enough, exactly what you've noticed too. You decide to finally go to a doctor, you go to a GP, they don't give you a straight answer because, I mean, let's be honest, when do GPs ever give you a straight answer? You get bloods done, maybe you get referred to hospital even, you get checked at a breast clinic at a specialist, and still nobody's giving you a straight answer as to whether you actually have like this thing called gynecomastia or not. All they keep telling you is, oh, it's nothing to worry about. Then you're playing this mental coping game in your head where it's like, okay, maybe I don't actually have gynecomastia. Maybe I just store more fat. Maybe I just need to cut down and lose more weight. Yeah, maybe I just need to build muscle. Yeah, I'll try building muscle. Yeah, I just genetically store more fat in my chest. Yeah, I heard black people store genetically more fat in their chest. So yeah, that's it. That's definitely it. I'll just cut down and get jacked. It's fine. Now you're deep into fitness. You've been lifting for a while, you're built, you're shredded, and you're lean. That's actually helped the look of the puffiness to your chest a little bit, but the dreaded poke is still there. You're now deep into the bodybuilding community, into forums, videos, Jeff Nippard's fucking amazing content. You become one of those annoying athlete next disciples all over TikTok. Now you see people are talking about that gynecomastia thing a little bit more, and like surprisingly a lot more people have it than you thought, and that helps you come to terms with the fact that you do indeed have bitch tits. You're seeing guys with nipples that barely qualify as even puffy, and they're saying they have it, and you're like, geez, if they have it, then I definitely have gyno. I'm fucked. It then comes time for you to make a decision. You either accept it and try and live with it, and then if you ever get big enough, people are going to assume you're taking steroids because of your nipples, or it's time to get it taken care of. At least now you have an answer, and it's a shame, it's a disgrace that it took this long to actually get like a solid answer on anything. It took me so long to like come to terms and figure out if I actually had it or not, because like nobody was talking about it. Thankfully now like everyone's open about it. It's much more common, much more mainstream. It's become less of this like niche thing. Every guy I talk to now has an idea of what gyno is, probably because like gym culture is way more mainstream now than it was like 6 years ago. Young lads now probably have much more information about it and have much clearer answers about whether they have it or not than like what I did like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like 5, 6 years ago, when I was struggling with it, there was no real answers. Nobody was talking about it, and like doctors weren't giving me much answers either, because I think just gym culture wasn't that mainstream back then. It's a shame, because if I'd found out and like known for definite that I had it sooner, I would have like come to terms with it sooner, accepted it sooner, and maybe even like taken action on it sooner. Yeah, it was such a struggle like dealing with this on my own, because like at the time gynecomastia was just this big bad medical word that I'd read online, and I walked around feeling like I was the only one who had it, and I felt like such a freak of nature as a man walking around with breast tissue. Whereas nowadays more people are talking about it, like more people are open that they have it, like you're seeing proper like chads going around openly talking about their gynecomastia, and it doesn't feel so alone anymore. It's pretty well established now the reason why gynecomastia rates have gone up in the last 30 years, coincidentally with the drop of testosterone rates. I think it's something like a 20-year-old now has the same like testosterone levels as like an 80-year-old back in like the 90s or something, which is wild. Oh, but it's genetic. Yeah, I mean, cancer is genetic as well. Doesn't mean that the environment doesn't influence it. Like if you went around rolling all day in carcinogens, doesn't mean you won't get cancer. So obviously gynecomastia, while there being a massive genetic component, I think there's a huge environmental component. Without getting too much into like the conspiracy theory side of things, it's very clear that the world has kind of over men's testosterone levels, whether that's through BPAs, plastic, or the contraceptive pill leaking into our water supplies. It's important to acknowledge these things to try and like give your kids or your younger siblings the best chance possible at avoiding gyno. Now you have gyno, what to do about it? Quite a lot of people have embraced it, gone on with life, just kept on working on their physiques, and have kind of either made it go away or just lived with it, and they've gotten really jacked and are very happy with their physiques now. Now most of those people probably have like the milder forms, the ones that you can't even really tell, to be honest. I'm sure someone with massive bazookas isn't going to be that comfortable with it. Yeah, so if you've massive like double B cup tits, then get that shit removed ASAP, man. I go through phases personally, like some people even with like the milder forms still can never fully embrace it and be fully happy in their physiques. Like I've gone through phases of being comfortable and then long phases of not being comfortable, and yeah, with those people it's just, I don't think it's ever going to fully be comfortable. Like I don't think I'm ever going to be fully coming to terms with, like, I don't know if you can see it there, but like I don't know if I'm ever going to be fully able to come to terms with the fact there's poke through. You're wearing your favorite like muscle fit t-shirt, and in one of the candid photos that you take when you're out or someone takes of you, and you see that disgusting poke through your freaking chest. And it doesn't matter how many people try and tell you it's not obvious or it's not noticeable. Like, it doesn't matter, it's noticeable to you, and if it makes you less confident and less conscious in yourself, then it's gonna undoubtedly tangibly like affect your life. If you're constantly aware of it, you're constantly like self-conscious, looking at yourself, checking yourself, constantly like flicking your own nipple, trying to harden it so you get like 10 seconds of a normal looking chest, and it's like, yeah, at that stage, man, it's like it's very much real in your head, and it's going to affect your life and how you interact with the world and how people interact with you. It doesn't matter if no one else actually notices the fucking nipple, they're going to notice that you're less confident, because that discomfort and that self-consciousness is going to show through, and it's going to ultimately make you less attractive. So yeah, you're just better off getting rid of it, man. Just get rid. I know it's very easy for me to say because I can afford the surgery, but I'm not here to give financial advice, so if you can't afford it, try and find ways to get it through the public system or some private system or some insurance. I don't know. Like I know in America they have some insurance thing. I think I might be able to get it publicly just because maybe through connections. If not, I'm more than happy and I'm ready to pay the money to do it privately. So I'm due to get it booked soon to get these godforsaken things removed, and I'm excited to be putting this phase behind me once and for all. I hope this has been helpful to someone. If you're a young guy and this video is part of like your journey through discovering gyno, well, here you are, accept it. If you think and you're worried you might have it, if you're not fat or chubby and you're noticing the poke through, you probably do have it. Don't try and cope. Don't try and lie to yourself. It's better, the sooner you accept it, the sooner you can take the next steps through the journey. Even if you don't ultimately get it removed and you end up being comfortable within yourself, well, that's just the next step in the journey then, and it's better you get to that point sooner. Bye! The fear, no, beat up keeps going.